It's the Gophers and the Ducks. Is this a dangerous look-ahead game for Oregon with USC around the corner? Let's talk about it. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Shemon, 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer, and part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network out there. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode because we are here every day. And if you could share, follow, and like, that helps us out as well. And you can hype YouTube videos. That'd be a big help too. So let's discuss. We've got the Gophers and the Ducks. Friday Night Lights. All this is with an eye on the college football playoffs and the rankings. And, of course, we are going to look ahead for the Ducks' next game against USC. And we'll take a peek ahead of what we're doing here this weekend as well. So Minnesota, 6-3, 4-2 in the Big Ten, coming out to number 8 ranked Oregon, according to the college football playoff rankings released on Tuesday night. The Ducks sitting at 8-1, 5-1 in the Big Ten. Their only loss was that Indiana game. This is Friday Night Lights, national TV, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You can catch it on the big Fox network. We're very excited about that. So this is a tricky game, just a little bit for the Oregon Ducks. They're coming off that amazing 18-16 win in the cold rain at number 21 Iowa in front of a nationally televised audience. Atticus Sappington kicking the game-winning field goal in the inclement weather with 3 seconds to go. That was a good win. That was a good, solid win against a good, solid Iowa team. So the Ducks are in a good but interesting spot right now. You know, last week they were ranked in the college football playoff rankings at 9th. Now they move up 1 to 8. And because we will possibly have an unranked ACC champion and a barely ranked group of 5 team taking up 2 of the 12 college football playoff spots, he's really got to be in the top 10 in order to get to the playoffs. So, that's basically where Oregon's sitting right now, just above it. Not a lot of comfort if they should lose or slip up. That's why I say 9 or 10. And don't forget, precious Notre Dame is in there taking a spot. Now, if they get beat this weekend by Pitt, then, hey, that makes it even more interesting. But we'll look at that if and when that happens. But the Ducks, again, have to be careful. But it's better to be inside the top 10 where they're at now. Glad that you're there as opposed to being on the outside looking in like a lot of really good football teams are. So everything's good right now for Oregon. And that's what made this Iowa game so important. And, you know, had they lost, we'll fall in a couple spots in the rankings and what have you. It's also why this Minnesota game is important because you got to focus on the game at hand. You got to look at it. Look, Oregon is the better football team here against Minnesota this weekend, but Oregon has an even bigger game against number 17 USC next week. That could really help shore things up. But USC, same thing. They're coming after Oregon, but USC's got to get after Iowa. They can't look ahead this weekend, and we all know how good Iowa is if you're an Oregon Ducks fan. So the winner of that game next week, the Oregon USC game, will almost assuredly make the playoffs, while the loser may just miss the cut. It's going to be interesting, really. Look, in a perfect world of college football chaos, I would love for both the Ducks and the Trojans to make it. You know, a couple of, hypothetically speaking, if USC were to win the game and the Ducks suffer a second loss, I would like to think that a Big Ten team with 2 losses gets to the playoffs every year. So that would be great. Get USC and Oregon back in. Now, Oregon may win the game, and that will eliminate USC, of course. But I would love to get as many Big Ten teams in there as possible. And look, Michigan, I mentioned in yesterday's podcast, still has a direct path if they win out, and that includes beating number 1 Ohio State. So there's still a lot up in the air here. And look, I know the Ducks fans don't want any part of any talk about USC being 2 losses, Oregon 2 losses. Oregon takes care of their own business. They don't want to worry about any of this stuff. And I get it. Absolutely. So let's take a look at the game at hand here with the game Friday night. Friday's opponent, Minnesota. tough team to figure out, really. Their best win of the year so far this year is an 18-point win over Nebraska. Well, not bad. Not bad. But they were destroyed by this very Iowa team that the Ducks just beat at the buzzer by 38 points. And they also needed overtime to beat a bad Michigan State team a couple weeks ago. So I can't figure out, I can't put my finger on Minnesota football. That's what makes them dangerous. PJ Fleck is a good coach, and he's had a bye week to get ready for this game against Oregon. And he's got a good quarterback, a good young quarterback in Drake Lindsey. And the Gophers' real strength here is their running game. They got running backs Darius Taylor and a recent emergence of running back Ijeboi Fame. Really good young running back. And the Ducks in the past have given up a few yards on the ground, although let's call it the way it was. They were pretty good up front against the Hawkeyes running game last weekend in the rain. I was very impressed with it. So being impressed with that running game and how they performed in Iowa, they can keep that. How about the Ducks running game? Let's flip the script from defense to offense. Noah Wittington in the rain, 17 carries, 118 yards. Jordan Davison, 8 carries, 52 yards. Pretty good. Now, I would expect also Dante Moore to have a better passing game this week than they had last week, given the conditions and all that. But the Ducks are getting a little thin at wide receiver, too. Dan Lanning was pretty vague in his press conference this week, giving answers about the health of Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end, Decorian Moore. Really don't know. Moore was ruled out before the Iowa game with a knee. Sadiq, an offensive tackle, by the way, Alex Harkey were held out of that game. Wide receiver Gary Bryant Jr., he left that game with an injury. So pretty thin in some spots here. All Dan Lanning would say was if they're ready, they'll play. All right. It just seems like more and more you're just not going to get any information out of these coaches regarding injuries and whatnot. So if they're ready, they'll play. That's where we're at right now. I guess if we watch them trot onto the football field on Friday night, we'll know that they're ready to go. Also, this is a short week. It's being a Friday night instead of a Saturday. I think that would be advantageous to the Ducks here just because they're at home. They don't have to juggle as much. They don't have to take a travel day and all that like Minnesota. But, you look at this game, and as long as the Ducks aren't already looking ahead to their game with USC next week, they are 25.5-point favorites Friday night here against Minnesota. By the way, we'll have our pigskin picks on tomorrow's episode. It's what we do every Friday on our long-form 30-minute podcast that we do each and every day. If you are new, like I said, we're here every day, multiple podcasts, all things Big Ten, all 18 teams. Hit that free subscribe button. If you're brand new, it's free. That way you'll never miss a single episode. We'd love to have you on board every day. If you're audio only, we got the video on YouTube. If you're audio only, we're on Spotify and Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, get locked into it so you never miss a single episode. We also have a website, Talk Big Ten. That's with the number 10, talkbig10.com. We put all of our podcasts there. You can check out what we've done in the past. Yesterday, for a second listen, got a lot of Oregon Duck stuff on there. And also, we have links on that website, talkbig10.com. You, for example, hit the logo on there for the Oregon Ducks or the Minnesota Gophers. And it'll bring you to a site where you can get all sorts of fun, cool merchandise like shirts and hats and T-shirts with your school logos on it in time for the holidays for you or people you want to get gifts for. All that right there at talkbig10.com. All right, I just told you how we're here every single day. We do something special on the weekends. I want to give you some details as to what our plans are going to be this weekend. I will have that next. It's right here in 1 minute on Locked On Big Ten. When the opening whistle blows on a new repair, you got to get your crew moving. You got to have supplies. Supplyhouse.com. You can check them out as well. And that way, because they can bring you parts to your doorstep the next day. And like 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business, right? You need supplies. If you don't have supplies, you can't do the job. Now you're wasting money. You're wasting time. If you need parts fast for a project, Supply House is next day delivery. You talk about a game changer there. And they have their free Trademaster Perks program. You can join that as well, Trademaster, and get serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, dedicated support line. You can visit supplyhouse.com and sign up for free and use the promo code SH Colleges number 5. SH Colleges 5 for 5% off your order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people, real service, supplyhouse.com. Watching games is super exciting, and we can make it more exciting with FanDuel. Have a little something on it. The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of a game, you could jump in. If you got a hot hand or a feel, watching a team make a comeback, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live in-game bets with your same-game parlays from before the game started and take a shot at bigger payouts. Keeps every game exciting. You'll find you'll watch a lot more games that you wouldn't even watch in the first place with this. It's a lot of fun. Especially if the team you're watching is making a late push. My hot tip, Miami Heat overs this season. Last year was the Pacers. This year, the Heat are like scoring like crazy. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head to FanDuel.com and sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, so thank you for checking us out here on Locked On Big Ten. I told you we're here every day. But we appreciate you guys joining us each and every day, your everydayers. If you're new, just discovering us, thanks for being here. And thank you for everybody for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. That is awesome. We always ask you if you can hit that free subscribe button. That way you'll never miss a single episode. Or if you could share, follow, and like, that helps us out too. So we're here every day, but we go live on Saturdays. We pick the biggest game on the schedule throughout the weekend, and then we go live after. Last weekend, we went live after 2 games. We just couldn't make up our mind. But what happens is I give you my real, raw, unfiltered, immediate post-game reaction, whatever game that was. And then we also recap the entire Big Ten and every team, every game. But I also get your real-time comments as well, so I can see what you guys are thinking. And we have a lot of fun. We all get together every Saturday. Mark your calendar. Just join us this weekend. We're going to go live after the Iowa USC game. That's at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. So we'll go live afterward. It's going to be about 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Invite you to join us. Iowa fans, USC fans, everybody. Big Ten. We'll talk about everybody. We'll talk about that Michigan Northwestern game. We'll talk about that Wisconsin-Indiana game. We'll even talk about the Minnesota-Oregon game, even though it was the night before. And Penn State's at Michigan State. Maryland and Illinois. We'll also talk about the night games, Purdue at Washington, and then UCLA at #1 Ohio State. We'll do a preview for that. That's what we do on Saturdays. So join us live, but we're here every day. Don't skip us on the weekdays either. Friday, we always do a preview of every single team, every game, and then we always close it out every Friday with our pigskin picks. So that's coming up on tomorrow's podcast. Don't miss that. In the meantime, there's many ways for you to interact with me on Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten, our website that I mentioned, talkbig10.com. Subscribe, follow, share, and also tell you that college football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present the College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation, along with 2-time AP Coach of the Year Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and our Locked On experts come together and get you ready for every game with everything you need to know. College football preview only that Locked On can do. So catch the College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season, only on Fire TV. That'll do it for us here today. Can't wait for that Oregon-Minnesota game out there at Autzen Stadium. That'll be fantastic. For Locked On Big Ten, I'm Craig Shemon. Talk to you next time.